Nighttime. Today, it's just a time for us to sleep. But thousands of years ago, when there was no electricity, no mobile phones, no cities, what did humans do at night? Imagine. A cool breeze is blowing, millions of stars are shining in the sky. Somewhere far away in the forest, the terrifying call of an animal echoes. And our ancestors are sitting around a small fire. There's fear in their eyes, curiosity, and a mystery that changed the entire human civilization. Because night wasn't just darkness. Night was the place where humans first created stories. For the first time, they imagined gods. For the first time, they thought about death. And perhaps, for the first time, they looked up at the sky and realized they weren't alone. But the real question is, when the whole world was sleeping, so what did ancient humans do at night? And the answer is, it's far more frightening, mysterious, and fascinating than you might imagine. The world thousands of years ago wasn't like it is today. The earth would completely change as night fell. What seemed like a normal forest during the day would become a death trap at night, because ancient humans weren't top predators on the food chain back then. In fact, they were prey themselves. Lions roamed in the darkness, giant wolves, hyenas, and predators whose eyes could see far better than humans. That's why, as soon as the sun set, survival mode kicked in for humans. Imagine, a small tribe is camped out on the edge of the forest. They have no home, just stones, wood, and a little fire. Children cling to their mothers. Men stare into the darkness with spears. The sound of every leaf makes your heart race, because they knew, if the fire went out, they might not see the morning. This was why fire wasn't just warmth for humans. It was protection, it was hope, and the beginning of civilization. Scientists believe that when humans learned to control fire, that very moment humans began to differentiate themselves from other animals. Because sitting around a fire at night didn't just protect themselves, they began to communicate. This is where the first stories were born. One person would stand and tell the story of a daytime hunt. Another would exaggeratedly tell how he defeated a dangerous animal. Gradually, these stories became legends, and this is where mythology was born. Imagine, when ancient humans first witnessed a thunderstorm, or saw lightning flash in the sky, what would they have felt? For them, there was no science, there was no explanation. So they began to believe in supernatural forces. Someone said, gods live in the sky. Someone said, spirits roam at night. And this is where the first seeds of religion began. But night wasn't just about fear and stories. Night forced humans to think. During the day, there was the pressure of survival. But at night, when everything became quiet, humans would be alone with their thoughts for the first time. Sitting in the dim light of a fire, they would look at the sky. And then they noticed stars change patterns every night. The moon changes shape. Some stars disappear with the seasons. Gradually, ancient humans began to read the sky like a map. This is where astronomy began. Today we see stars from satellites, but thousands of years ago, a human sitting outside a cave without a telescope was trying to understand the universe. And perhaps this was the moment when humans first realized that the world was much bigger than their tribe. But the most shocking thing is that ancient humans probably didn't sleep for 8 hours continuously like us. Yes, you heard that right. Researchers believe that in ancient times, humans had segmented sleep. That means they would sleep for a few hours, then they would wake up in the middle of the night, and then sleep again after some time. Now imagine, the entire world is plunged into darkness. There are only the sounds of the forest all around. A fire is slowly burning, and a human suddenly wakes up from sleep. But he doesn't panic, because this is normal for him. He gets up and puts wood in the fire, looks at the distant sky, perhaps talks softly to someone. Some historians believe that this was a time for meditation, bonding, and deep thinking, because there were no distractions at that time. No phones, no noise, no internet, just humans and their thoughts. This was a time when relationships were strengthened. Tribes would sit together at night, share their fears, plan for the future, and most importantly, knowledge was passed on to children. Today we learn in schools. But for ancient humans, the night was the classroom. Sitting around a fire, elders would tell their children, which animal is dangerous, which plant is poisonous, which river is unsafe to enter. That is, civilization's first education system was built at night. But the story doesn't end there. Some researchers believe that cave paintings were also mostly created at night. Imagine a dark cave, flickering firelight on the walls, and a man, charcoal in hand, is drawing giant animals on the wall. But why? Was it art or a ritual? Some experts believe these paintings were part of hunting magic. Ancient humans believed that if they could create an image of an animal, it would be easier to catch it in a real hunt. That means stories weren't just being created at night. Human imagination was evolving, and perhaps this imagination later became books, movies, religions, and modern civilization. But there's another terrifying possibility. Ancient humans didn't just look at the night sky and see stars. They were also afraid of darkness, because darkness has a strange effect on the human mind. When a person is in complete darkness, the brain starts looking for patterns. Shadows start to resemble monsters. Voices in the wind sound like whispers. And this may be why stories of ghosts, demons, and night spirits exist in almost every culture. Because for thousands of years, humans lived the night as a mystery. Now think about it. Today we live in artificial light. Cities are never completely dark. But for ancient humans, night was truly dark. So dark that the Milky Way was clearly visible. Today hardly anyone can see the sky that our ancestors saw every day. And perhaps that's why their connection to nature was so deep. For them, the stars weren't just beautiful. They were a compass. They were a calendar. They were stories. When a tribe traveled thousands of miles, the star showed them the way. The moon explained the seasons, and the night connected them to the universe. But look at the irony. We've advanced in technology, but perhaps we've lagged behind in understanding the night. Today, night is just a time for scrolling, but for ancient humans, night was a world of imagination, a world where myths were born in firelight, where children first heard stories, where humans created gods, made music, created art, and perhaps civilization too. So the next time you go out at night, look at the sky for a moment. The same stars that our ancestors used to see thousands of years ago, the same darkness that they feared, and the same night that made humans human. Because perhaps day taught us to survive, but night gave us the power to think.